So I've been really excited for this one. As you can see here, finally got my ORE winch bumper and T1000 military spec winch from Warrior Winches partnered up on the front of Boris and ready to go. Sadly I haven't used it yet, but we did install it and I want you to see it. So here we go, come and have a look at it. So here we go at IRB Developments. Just met up with Chris and Ian and they had a little look round. Ian's already picking apart Boris as always. It's not a perfectionistic truck as you know, but here we are. Chris opening the gates, hope I don't scratch anything up. A winch from ORE, it is a Warrior winch, it's a T1000 and I'm going to get it open.
So here we go. This is what you got. You've got a wide remote there, very solid in case you run it over. You've got some stainless fixings. The wireless remote, it's just really good, works really well. And this stops your fingers being pulled into the winch, so that's a really handy bit of kit. And finally the T1000 military spec winch, ready to go on Boris there, and just take a look at that, what a bit of kit.
So now we've got it all unboxed. This is the Warrior T1000 military spec winch. 14,500 pound pull weight. Just got it out of the box and it is really cool. Been waiting a long time to actually finally get to see this one. You got your cabled remote here, so you've also got your wireless remote there as well as the, I thought this was called a fair lead, but it's actually called a hawse, so that's pretty handy. That goes on the front of the bumper to make sure that the rope doesn't snag on the entry hole, so that protects the winch and the rope from getting snagged up when it's under load, so that's pretty cool. So basically, this will sit on the front here, but unfortunately, I'm going to show on this bumper. So I'm going to put this down. Right. We've got a bumper on there, so I'll show that to you in a minute.
In preparation for the install, I upgraded the suspension with some heavy duty fronts and some new Terrafirma gas shocks from Brookwell's. It is sitting a lot better already and will help with their weight up front.
So to be able to take a winch like that on the front of your truck, obviously you need to update the bumper, and that is exactly what ORE have done. Yeah, we're just gonna have a little look through it, and as you can see, it's quite unique in a few different ways. So these are the straight ones that I'm gonna be going for in the end, but these are pretty cool as well. I guess it depends on your personal preference and also what sort of style of truck you have. You can see the two holes in these. These are for the DRL day running lights, and ORE supply these ring ones with the bumpers, but unfortunately the ring ones they supply, the powder coating on the mounts isn't quite good enough, so these are specially cut out just for the winch bumpers to go especially with these day running lights, which is fantastic.
So most of you've probably seen this at the LRO show. You've probably seen the videos on YouTube from Jack and Terspec TV and a few other people that did that for us. The feedback we got from one of the early version was there was no lifting eyes. I wasn't too worried about it because obviously if you have a steering guide it has the eyes on that, but it was a key feature to come up. We were approached by Jack at Lowland Rescue, he's one of the team members there, and he said they were after a heavy duty winch bumper for their vehicles. And one of the first things he mentioned when he seen us at the show, one of the things that was missing was the recovery points on the front of the winch bumper. I wasn't too worried about that because our steering guide had it. So since the show, we've come up with version 2, which comes with these cool lifting eyes.
Oh, they go straight through there, that's cool.
Through there, like so.
Yeah.
With some stainless fixed at the bottom on the outside.
Stainless all around there, yeah.
Those tap holes are purely just to hold it in, fix it in position. Obviously, all the load is travelling through here. We've re-engineered all this. This is all reinforced. Obviously, this plate's reinforced because we've got the made to allow for the structural integrity of the end, so that if you hit a tree or catch a corner, it's not gonna fold away. Still stainless M10 fixings in there too.
That's great. Well, it's quite good though because it's sort of you can customize it if you decide to go for the crank sort of end. You can, and like me, I changed my mind about this. Go for the more classic look. If you do change your mind down the line, you can change it up, or if you want DRLs or want to change back to no DRLs, it's great because you have that option. And also you can customize it, different bits and pieces like that, and these are properly strong. Look at that. They're gonna be really good because I've had a few recoveries and I probably will recover people with these because I don't get stuck ever, obviously.
And a little idea of dimension from Ian at IRB Developments. The mud comes off the front tyres, packs in here. So one thing Ian mentioned to us, which is a really good idea, was a cover plate in here. So since the production versions will have this cover plate, that'll go on there and it'll stop any mud coming off the front tyre and getting packed up around the DRL, which would lead it to fail because they overheat when they get packed with mud.
Right, yeah, because it could get really chock-a-block in there, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously all the stiffeners here to allow for strength. We've also got stainless steel fixings welded in place on that bracket, so that's a really rigid bracket. And when that's mounted on the DRL bracket that we supply to go with the ring DRLs, you can obviously set that as well if you want it set so it's slightly out with a curve or slightly back so it's flush and there's nothing going to catch the lens.
Right.
So, try to think of everything.
I think the more I see the DRL option, I think it's pretty cool. God, I'm changing my mind already. No, I think this is cool. It's a great option, really. Really looking forward to seeing going on. My bumper's probably the original one. It's been coated about 5 or 6 times when I got on, so this is going to be looking absolutely brilliant. I just love the red accents there as well. Just a great bit of kit to go with the amazingly strong winch.
We'll do those in different colours as well, so you
can customise it.
Those, so
ORE green. Pink for Ian.
Straight.
Pink, that'd be great.
Oh
yeah, of course.
Strengthened ribs here.
Yeah, that's something I was going to ask actually.
These go into the J rings, and we've allowed 6 mil between here and the chassis. And the idea of that is if you've got a steering guard, hopefully an ORE steering guard, this will fit. This will fit straight in there. If it doesn't, we're going to supply some either some quite heavy duty washers or a machine space. So if you haven't got a steering guard, you can put that in and it'll fit exactly
I see, yeah. But preferably you want to have a ORE steering guard as well.
And then obviously the J rings on the chassis are towing points by Land Rover, so this needs to be bolted in there to make sure that the winch doesn't go.
And that's great because you obviously got the winch mounts here. The bumper mounts here, which is great. But you've got the extra support from that because it's a £14,000 winch, so you want to have a good bit of strength behind it as well, don't you?
Now we've had a look at it, we're going to actually put the bumper together. It's a bit more involved than just a standard winch bumper. Obviously they come fully assembled, but this one, as there's customization with it, you can attach the ends and the actual recovery rings on, as you saw earlier with all the stainless fixings. It's quite unusual for me this time really. Chris got cracking with putting the bumper together and I just sat back and watched. As you can see here, these are the ring DRLs ready to go in, and here is Chris putting them into the bumper and putting the cover plate on as well. Really neat bit of kit.
As you just saw, we just got the bumper off. It's left it looking a little bit grotty, but that's to be expected really. Now we're just going to look at the fittings here, and there's actually a little unique part on it, so let's have a look at those.
So the standard ones normally finish here, and they're a bit of a nightmare to get in once you've got all the kit on. So what we've done, come up with this idea. Goes through there, like so. So when you're bolting it on, you like this, you can get finger and thumb on there rather than losing it in there, because when all this is on, it's a bit of a nightmare to get to. So assembled, that'd be the other side, it would look like so. So you can probably do that.
That's really clever.
I can really vouch for those actually, because after the install of this bumper I had to put one on Chris's truck just before a show, and it made it a lot easier fitting the bumper and less fiddly, so they're really good.
So there you go, look, bumper's on, matches up with the ORE steering guard there perfectly. And look at those, that just makes it look awesome, doesn't it, with these stainless fittings as well. God, I'm tempted by these, they do look good actually.
Put grease on your side?
No, I didn't actually.
You didn't put grease on.
No grease.
The ORE bumpers go on just the same as one of the standard bumpers, but there is the additional support that is attached through the J rings as we spoke about earlier, so Chris is just doing that now and nipping them up, ready to go.
So straight out of the box, the winch comes with this plate here, and you want to take this off, so we're just going to take this off right now. You don't need it if you're going to have the synthetic rope, so it's just going to come off, and all it does is if you had the steel winch cable, it just holds it down so it does spools in and is all a bit neater and just doesn't spring around, so that's going to come off right now.
That spring has a lot of force on it, so Ian stood on the winch and Chris undid it, and it did fly off with a bit of force, so keep an eye out if you have to do that yourself. Next up is the hawse going on. Chris is doing that one now, look at that. And as the winch goes in, we get to see what it finally will look like. Obviously this is just a test fitting, all the wires are still hanging out, nothing's completed, but it's the first chance we get to see the winch bumper and winch on, and yeah, it does look good, doesn't it?
So important to note, the standard cables that come with the Warrior winches are long enough to go to a battery if the battery's in front of the car, Discovery 2. Defender, obviously the battery's in the seat box, so Warrior do an extended lead kit. Basically, just take these cables off, for these ones, these cables should be long enough.
So when you do use the extensions from Warrior, you just take the top cover off as Ian's doing here, and you can just replace them straight to the terminal in the little magic box there. So perfect.
So as for the wiring, we decided to not do too much detail in this film on how to wire it in. Ian actually wired it in for me, and I learned a little bit from him, so now I think I would know more of an idea of how to actually do it. But I said to them, if I was going to wire it in myself and make a video about it, it would actually be detrimental to the human race because how dangerous it could be. So we opted in for having a professional like Ian doing it, and I think the outcome was definitely better this time. That being said, I think I definitely could have done it. It's just a bit of a faff, and also making a video about it is makes it twice as hard. So if you were to do it yourself, you follow the instructions, find a video, and make sure you wire it into a isolator switch into the seat box that can then feed into the passenger footwell, so you can turn it off manually, completely disconnected from the battery. That keeps the car safe. The winch can't be used when you don't want it to, and it also doesn't drain the battery. So follow those steps and you should be good, and the winch will work perfectly. And there you go, we're almost done. Ian just has to finish up the wiring, neaten it all up, and he also added a new negative terminal and neated up my horrible wiring, which he wasn't very pleased with. I tidied up the tools and got ready to head off for the Great British Land Rover show the next day, where Boris was going to wear the winch. Right, that's enough babble, let's take a look at it.
So here we are, fast forward a few days. The install went really well. I did a lot of filming and not much helping. A big thanks to Chris and Ian for doing all of the work, making this work as well as it can. I've tested it with the two remote, the wireless one and the wired one, works absolutely perfectly. We've got the isolator switch in the cab as well, just so it can be completely disconnected when you're driving around and not using it. Sadly, I still haven't had a chance to use it, but I want to make a full video about the usage and how good it is in the future. We'll go out with a few trucks. Still haven't used the winch yet. It's just been on here at the front. We went to the Great British Land Rover show, as you can see here, and it got a lot of attention up the front, looking really shiny. And I've driven back about 200 miles home, and it's still looking unbelievably shiny, which is quite impressive really. It was great to see people who've been following the journey of ORE's development of the winch bumper. It's been a long time coming. It's nice to see people finally getting their hands on it, getting to see it. This one, as you've seen during the film, has got the DRLs. I'm actually going to go for just blanked off, non-cranked ones. I do like these, you know, DRLs are handy, but a lot of people ask me about it. I'm going for the more original look without the DRLs. So in the future, going to blank these off, no DRLs, and then maybe also tone it down a bit, get some of the red off, get a Warrior and ORE sticker put on here, a bit of black here and there, you know, try and mute it down so it's more utility than a show-off item. I didn't get this for the looks, I got it to be used, so that's a bit of a plan for the future. As you saw during the install, the actual ends of the bumper are removable to leave the winch tray. This is good for a few reasons, you know, style changes, say if you want DRLs, don't want DRLs, or you want cranked ones or not, you can remove them. And you can also, if you hit it drastically, you know, and it bends in, which I've seen before, and trying to straighten those out is not very fun, as we know. You can get whole new ends, you just get a replacement one of these and then chuck it back on, bolts to the 4 bolts as you saw before, so that's really handy, that feature. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on using it because A, I haven't used it yet, can't have an opinion on it, and also want to do it more in detail with the controller and everything like that. So that will be coming soon, keep your eyes peeled for that, and that's going to be a lot of fun making that video.
If you're still here, thank you so much for watching the whole video. This wasn't so much of a tutorial, it was more of an insight of the day and how it went, and also just a preview of the way it looks on Boris straight away. As I said, next up it's going to be the using video. I'm very excited to do that, and I hope that you'll be able to find that in the future. For now though, let's hope for some snow. I can get out and help some people out, and also if I get stuck I can save myself too. If you want one of these and you're on the ORE website, use Boris5 at checkout for a discount. That works for all products across the website. It'd be great to see that popping up through some orders, and it'd be great to see your truck with a winch bumper on as well. Again, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully see you soon.